everybody, it's Dove Hammer here, and I'm back at you with another little tutorial on how to play the blues harmonica. This one's also kind of blues harmonica 101, and what I'm going to talk about today is a few kind of basic, not even licks, but the ingredients of basic blues licks. Now, there's a few things that, if you start to listen to a lot of classic blues players, Little Walter, Big Walter, Sonny Boy Williamson, etc., James Cotton, Slim Harpo, all these guys, there's certain things that start to repeat themselves, certain little moves that you really should master. And if you get these things, they'll become a part of your repertoire. They're the building blocks of blues licks, of blues solos, of getting that kind of blues feeling. First of all, one of the basics is really you got to know how to bend, and you got to know how to not only to hit your bends spot on, but to move from them, to move quickly and effortlessly up. Like, here's little number one. Many blues licks have the bend up, the dip bend, what some people call. If I'm saying on hole number 4, matter of fact, a lot of times it goes both ways. It goes up and then it goes down. Okay? So many licks begin with that. Or on hole number 2. So learning to start from that bend and dip up is really crucial. So right now, just in case you're wondering, I'm demonstrating on a C harmonica. This is a Seydel 1847 in the key of C. So I'm playing blues in second position, in this particular case, in the key of G. So that's the first thing, is learning to dip up from the bends. Once you've mastered the bending technique, which I'm not teaching today, maybe sometime, but there are plenty of places online to learn how to bend. Once you've mastered those bends and you know where they are, learn to move up and down from them gracefully. So that's number one. Number 2 is what I would call the slide down the ladder. So many solos have licks that at the center of them is just going down, like from the middle of the blues scale down, from 4 draw through 4 bend, 3 bend, 3 half-step bend, that's very important, to 2. Now, you'll hear that in the middle of a lot of things. There's a couple elements that are important to really nail when you do something like that has a... First of all, a lot of people at the beginning, it's hard to nail that going down from 4 to 4 bend. And then they end up sounding like the... It'll sound much bluesier if you manage to get to 3 via going through 4 half-step bend. The second difficult part of this is always hitting that 3 half-step bend. The blues scale has that half-step bend in it. If you listen to all the great traditional blues players, Sonny Boy Williamson, well, not always Sonny Boy, different stuff, not all the time. Forget that, it's not a rule, but so many of the time on these, deep down blues, they're always hitting the 3 with the 3 bent down a half step. That's a blues sound. In fact, the whole song Spoonful is built around that half step bend. So you really have to get used to hitting that spot on, even when you're sliding down from 4. Even if I do it fast, I'm just like passing through, but I'm passing through with that bend. Get used to making that bend when you go there. And the variation on it, the same thing, only starting from 5. And there I'm incorporating what I did before. 5, dip up from the 4 bend, and then back down to 4 bend, 3, 2. So those kind of movements, I would call them, are really very central to a lot of the blues vocabulary, so to speak. A lot of the licks you're going to try to learn. I know I learned to play harmonica just by listening to records, and I would try to copy what I heard James Cotton doing, what I heard Junior Wells doing, Little Walter. And a lot of times I wasn't getting it right, and I was making something different, which turned out to be my own, but I was doing my best to pick up these things. And so you're going to hear those little things in the middle of everything. One of the people I always try to teach students who are beginning to learn to play blues harmonica is Slim Harpo. He may not be the world's greatest virtuoso of blues harmonica, but he was fun to listen to, a lot of great songs. And his harmonic solos are simple, but always like basic blues. They have all the basic ingredients, you know. I'm a king bee and scratch my back, all those. That's scratch my back. Or in king bee when he goes, and then the turn around. So those are two of the major blues movements that you got to learn to start mastering blues licks. And here's one last one. This one you've heard many times. Little Walter did it all the time when he was backing up Muddy Waters, and a lot of people love to stick it in there, and that's the warble. The warble is going between two neighboring notes very quickly, although in time, in the rhythm of the song. Most often between 4 and 5, sometimes between 3 and 4. Here's a 4/5 warble, the most classic of all blues. Sometimes it's done from 3 to 4. That's with a little bend. Master that. You don't want it to sound like you're just wildly shaking your head. You want it to be evenly split time-wise between the two holes, and even ping pong, and not accidentally moving over to a third hole, because then if you go, that's just sloppy. You want it to sound tight like Little Walter did. Although Walter, I'm told, moved his hands. Some people move their heads. And if you're tongue blocking, you can do some tongue switching on that. And if you really want to, you can open up the low end, the left side, and give a one draw while you do it. So the warble is real basic. It goes into the middle of a lot of licks as well. You go. It's good while you're accompanying. It's good to shove in the middle of a solo. It's a fun move. Easier than it looks. People hear you do it and they say, wow, amazing. And you know you're just blowing and moving the harp, But master the timing of it, master the being direct, being exact on it. Only the two holes, and split the time. Practice it at different speeds, slow and then fast. So that's just a little sampling, and I hope you learned something from it, and I hope it was fun for you. If you did, make sure to hit the like button right underneath here and show us some love. I'd be glad if you subscribe to this channel. I got lots more lessons as well as live shows and video clips of my music, lots of good stuff there. And if there's anything you want me to do a tutorial about, questions you want to ask, or a technique you want me to show, or a song you'd like me to teach you how to play, feel free to write it in the comments. I'll be glad to hear them, and I'll try to answer them all. So thanks a lot, and I'll see you next time.